All right, listen, as we know, last week, Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway, the trilogy, it fell through. Max Holloway aggravated an existing injury and rightly decided that he wanted to pull out. Okay, so rest up, Max Holloway, Max blessed. All the best in your recovery. Now, of course, as we know, every featherweight underdog that had an ability to get this fight came out the woodwork and made their case. Okay, there was Josh Emmett. Would have liked to have seen that one. There was Giga Chikadze. He was talking about it before he lost to Calvin Kattar. The Korean Zombie, who, as we know, has actually got the fight. And then there is Henry Cejudo, the two-weight division champion, the Olympic gold medal in wrestling, which is just an incredible achievement. He defeated Demetrius Johnson, okay, which was a feat that nobody else had been able to do. So well done. Hats off to that man right there. Then he fought TJ Dillashaw, beat him. Amazing. Right, and then he defended the bantamweight belt against Dominic Cruz, beat him in the second round, I believe it was, and then retired, stepped away. And when I say retired, he properly retired. And what do I mean by that? He came out of the USADA testing pool. When you come out of the USADA testing pool, you have to go back in the USADA testing pool, and you have to be in the USADA testing pool for 6 months, okay, to make sure that any nastiness, any drug that you have in your system is gone. Okay, and as of right now, according to Hunter Campbell, an MMA junkie, he's not in the USADA testing pool, so he's not even eligible. Now, when the news broke that Volkanovski was fighting the Korean Zombie, then Cejudo has been going on a tirade. He's been pissed off. He feels like he's been looked over. He feels like he hasn't been given a chance that he should have been given, okay? And he's been talking some shit. He said that if I had blonde hair and blue eyes, and I was Canadian, then I would have got the shot. And a lot of people are saying that Henry played the race card there. I don't think he played the race card. I think what he was just saying, if my name was George St. Pierre, then I would have got the shot. Because George St. Pierre had 4 years away from the sport, then came back and choked out Michael Bisping. That's the only time I'll use myself in third person. Choked me out unconscious. Bastard. Anyway, that's not what he's doing. He's not playing the race card. He's just saying, if my name was George St. Pierre, I would have got the shot. You know what I mean? The reality is you're not called George St. Pierre. You don't have the resume of a George St. Pierre, and you're not the star that George St. Pierre was. Listen, and he's been annoying a lot of people because he's been tweeting about it so much. He's even got Conor McGregor's back up. As we know, Conor McGregor, he's not nasty to anyone. He came out, he called... what did he call him? Cejudo called him a little fart. Henry Cejudo is a little fart. Then Cejudo came back and he tweeted out, what do you know about farts? You always run out of gas, or something like that. Some terrible joke, but, you know, fair play. It's always fun seeing them go back and forth. Listen, Cejudo, right? It's not a race thing. It's nothing to do with that. It's a merit thing, okay? You were afforded the ability to step up to another weight class. I talk about it all the time. The hard part about getting to be the number one contender in the toughest sport on the planet is beating all those other hungry contenders. You know what I mean? Working your way up from being unranked, not even with the organization. Then you get with the UFC, then you claw your way up, and then all of a sudden you're ranked. Then you're fighting all these other guys that all have that one goal, that one dream of becoming the champion of the world. If you don't think it's hard to go from rank number 15 to rank number 2 or 1, you're out of your mind. That is so difficult. And when you jump the line, when you are a champion of another weight class and you are afforded the opportunity to do so, it is a massive favor. Because that's, I mean, of course, beating the champion in a weight class is the ultimate hard thing, is the ultimate goal, it is the toughest challenge of it all. But also getting there in a position to where you're going to fight them, that's almost equally challenging in some ways, because you have to do it a number of times, not just one time. He was given that. He did that. The UFC did him that solid. They said, you know what, yeah, maybe you could do this. Maybe this will sell. And we're going to give you a chance to become one of only a handful of people in the history of the UFC to do that. Okay? You were given that chance. They're not going to do it again. When you did it last time, you retired. Right? Well, you beat TJ Dillashaw, you defended it against Dominic Cruz, and then you retired.
I'm retiring tonight, Joe.
And it looks like it was all a big money play, you know, because on top of this, he's also been saying, you know, he wants more money and yada, yada, yada. You know, that's not going to help your case, Henry. You know, if you want to negotiate with someone, don't be complaining about your pay. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to start the meeting on the right footing. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. A little bit of basic info there. So yeah, so that's the situation. You know, listen, George St. Pierre did come back and he did do that. But as I say, The UFC put on the fights that people want to see. George St. Pierre had an entire nation behind him in terms of Canada. He also had tremendous love worldwide. One of the most popular mixed martial artists and one of the best mixed martial artists to ever do it. And a massive, proven pay-per-view draw. And on top of that, I wanted the fight as well. When the champion wants it, you're halfway there. When the people want it, you're 3/4 of the way there. The last thing you need is for the UFC to think it's a good idea as well. When all parties are agreed, boom, you're off to the races, right? But the only one that really wanted it in this situation was Henry CEJUDO. Listen, Henry, I want to see you at featherweight. I am really curious to see how you would do, right? But the way to do that is get in the testing pool, right? Do 6 months. Come back while you're still young enough. Don't waste a lot of time. Don't waste time out there, because before you know it, your best years will be past you. And he had a glittering career, an incredible career. So far be it for me to sit here and give him advice. But come back, do your 6 months, and then fight a couple of contenders. I'm sure if he beats a couple of contenders at 145, a title fight would follow suit pretty quickly. You know what I mean? But he hasn't got time to waste. Sitting around, moping, talking shit about the UFC, that's not the way to do it. Get off the couch, unretire, come back, beat a couple of contenders, and then beat the champion. I mean, think about that. What a story that would be. And it would even be better, I think, for Henry CEJUDO, because then he's earned it as well. So he becomes an Olympic champion. An incredible feat. He becomes the flyweight champion by beating Demetrius Johnson. Still some people call Demetrius the GOAT. I think he defended the belt 11, 12 times, something ridiculous. Then steps up, takes the belt off TJ Dillashaw, then defends against one of the greatest bantamweights of all time in Dominic Cruz. Takes a little time off, has a little hiatus, comes back at featherweight, a third weight class, chips off a couple of contenders, earns the shot, and then beats the champion. I mean, that is a Hollywood script. That would be one of the greatest combat sports athletes of all time. And that is the path, the road that Henry CEJUDO needs to walk if he's going to achieve the C4 dream. And there it is. There it is. There's my video for today. So Henry CEJUDO, wish you all the best. I enjoy the guy. And you guys, I wish you all the best. Thank you for supporting my channel. It means a lot to me. Remember, subscribe, ring the bell. Don't miss the videos. Lots of good content coming this week. I'll be interviewing Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou for BT Sport. Brandon Moreno as well. We're going to be at the Honda Center in Anaheim. We're going to be at the press conferences, the weigh-ins, all the rest of it. And we'll be covering it all. So make sure you see it all this week on this channel. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And until then, take care.